This week on Greatness Coaching and Therapy with Heidi M, we will be talking about toxic relationships. Maybe you are currently in one and you don't even realize it. I think that is the big thing when it comes to toxic relationships. Only in hindsight do you realize, hey, that was a toxic relationship. Am I right, Heidi?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Eon. You are so right. When one is in a relationship, you're often so blinded that you don't realize what is going on. And it's difficult, because you're not objective, you're subjectively involved. And that is one of my first note that I made here is to recognize the signs. And let me also just say this. People say, when I say toxic relationships, people immediately think a romantic relationships, but this can also be at work.
Yeah.
This can also be with family members. This can be with friends.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open. Recognize the signs. Be aware of the signs. And some of the signs may include manipulation. And sometimes that manipulation can be so subtle. Control, constant criticism, emotional abuse, obviously physical abuse as well. Emotional abuse is so difficult to prove, I want to say in air quotes, physical abuse, at least one can prove it and see for yourself. But when it's an emotional abuse, which is every bit as bad as physical abuse, it's way more difficult to prove. Acknowledge that you are in a toxic relationship. That is going to be the first step. And being honest with yourself, saying to yourself, I don't feel right. Even if it just starts with that one small thought. I don't feel right. Why am I not feeling right? What is going on when I'm with this person, when this person is around me? Why do I feel so off kilter? The second note that I made is that we should set boundaries, and I find that people, especially with romantic relationships, are scared to set the boundaries because what if that person leaves? And to that, we all know the answer. Rather let him or her leave and move on with your life, heal and find a better relationship than staying in it. But we're scared that we're not going to find somebody else. And that's a common thing, but in terms of the boundaries, figure out your boundaries for yourself first. Figure them out and write them down. So again, writing things down is making it real, is making it tangible. It's there, it's in front of you, and you can deal with that. Establish those clear boundaries to protect your own emotional and physical well-being. Decide what is acceptable to you and what is not acceptable to you. And now comes the very difficult bit. You have to now communicate those boundaries to the other person. And that's where a lot of us become scared again, because we don't want to offend, we don't want to upset, we don't want to confront. And that's going to be a thing where you just have to not wait until something goes so wrong that you explode and then throw your boundaries into the conversation or into the screaming match. You need to have those quiet times before there are massive fights, before there's great upset. Quiet time, sitting people down, or just in casual conversation, slip in the boundary here and there. You don't have to make a fuss of it. You don't have to be aggressive about it. You don't have to be emphatic or loud about it. Set those boundaries very clearly, but in a calm and controlled way. Then self-care. And again, self-care is not lying in bed all day with popcorn and milkshakes, right? So it's going to involve things like activities, like exercise, watching your nutrition, do your prayer or your meditation, your spiritual health. Pay some attention to that. Spend time with supportive friends and family. That is self-care. You have to prioritize those things to maintain your mental and emotional health. Consider your options, evaluate if this relationship can improve, and if so, how. Do you need counseling? Do you need a mediator? Do you need a coach? Or is it perhaps best to distance yourself or even end the relationship? So considering your options is something you can do quietly by yourself, without any fear of interference or fear of favor, and just consider quietly what my options are, and then take action after you've made your decisions. And once again, you have to go with your gut. What is there that I can live with, and what is there that I absolutely cannot live with? These are deal breakers, And then if it's at all possible and necessary, then take or develop your own exit strategy. Decide how to leave a toxic relationship. Devise a safety plan. Devise an exit strategy. And here, supportive friends and family are going to be very, very important. And a big thing here, especially with romantic relationships, with marriages, also remember to factor in your financial independence, because so often we find that people stay together because of financial considerations, and that is always so sad for me. That the alternative would be, hunger and not having a roof over one's head, and you play that off against being physically and mentally abused. That's not okay. And then just if it was necessary for you to leave the toxic relationship, you're going to have to give yourself a whole lot of time and tender love and care when you focus on your healing and you rebuild your life. And I highly recommend, again, if it's with a romantic relationship that you had to leave and you're rebuilding and healing, be on your own for a while. Just take a few months and don't get another partner straight away. Don't look for another partner straight away. Rather heal first on your own so that you can go into your next relationship as a whole healed person, so that you can bring the best version of you to that new relationship. There's no reason in the world why you can't put your whole best self forward again.
Exactly. And Heidi, also, people damaged in relationships, going around and getting a new partner so quickly. I mean, you're bound to hurt feelings. I mean, that's why it's called the rebound,
That's it. And hurt people hurt people.
Exactly.
It's really, really not fair on yourself, but also not fair on the other person to perpetuate this hurt. Take the time out. What is 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, 2 years? What is that in the light of the eternity? If you're thinking, that if you can take that time and become whole again, and then present yourself with pride and confidence into the next relationship.
Heidi, thank you so much once again for all that insight. Much appreciated. If one of our listeners possibly find themselves in a toxic relationship, maybe they're thinking about it now and realizing that it's a toxic relationship, can they contact you for some help and advice?
Yes, with pleasure. You will find me on 079-815-6305, or you can drop me a line on Facebook on my messenger, and that's Heidi M. Wellness.
And it's discreet, so don't worry about your partner finding out. Just don't write it on Heidi's Facebook wall for the world to see. I mean, that could be a problem.
Please don't. Yes, all right. Yeah, we have to. It's a very sensitive thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially if your life is in danger. It could really become a big problem. So be discreet, and I'm here to help if you need it.
Heidi, you're a star. Thank you so much. Until next week.
Until next week, Ian, take care.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.